Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the District 7 Public Relations Forum. I am the District 7 Public Relations Manager, and my guest speaker is a very good friend of mine, and we have a lot in common other than being in Toastmasters. We both joined Toastmasters in the same year, and we're also the same age. And we also like to dance. But with no further ado, I'm going to introduce my fellow public relations manager from District 84, Donald Tolson, who will be telling us about the power of visibility. And Donald, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself as well, the virtual floor is yours. Take it away, Donald Tolson.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. And for some, good morning. If you're in the Philippines, good morning. Yes, as Fred stated, my name is Donald D. Tolson Sr. I am the District 84 Public Relations Manager for 2023, 2024, and I am excited to be here. Just to tell you a little bit more about myself, I am a professional speaker. I am an international speaker as well as a published author. So I love doing things outside of Toastmasters. I love to tell people the reason why I joined Toastmasters was back in 2014 is when I joined, but I joined because I had a speech impediment. I stuttered, and I stuttered from, as far as I can remember, from the 3rd grade, which I was about 8 years old, on up until I was about 40, maybe 37 or 47, but it's when I joined Toastmasters in 2014. So the power of visibility in public relations. The reason I joined Toastmasters was because I saw this article in a local paper that says Toastmasters. Now, I thought Toastmasters was a drinking club. So I said, I'm going to go down and have me a buy one, get one free, right? Wrong. It was not a drinking club. And it was a public speaking, and it still is, it's where leaders are made. And at first I was saying Toastmaster. No, it's not Toastmaster. It's not something that is sold on QVC on a Saturday night. It's Toastmasters. But the reason that I joined Toastmasters was because of the power of visibility. By looking through that local paper, I was able to find a resource that was able to help me. And it was a local paper, and they were showing the best speaker and the best table topic speaker and the winner of the valuation contest. So I was excited about it. So let's talk about the power of visibility in public relations, especially as it relates to an organization like Toastmasters. Public relations is the strategic management of communication between an organization and its various stakeholders. So who are those stakeholders? Those stakeholders are its members. They can, and those members consist of the local club, the area, the district, wherever members are. Those are the stakeholders of Toastmasters. And the goal of Toastmasters as it relates to public relations is to build and to maintain a positive image and reputation. It's where leaders are made, right? So yes, we want to make sure that those branding of Toastmasters, the way the world look at Toastmasters, we want to make sure that it is always in a positive way. It could be in the media, it could be in print form, but must be positive. Okay, but Toastmasters being an international organization, it is all over the world. And as we all know, we all experience Toastmasters here, so we know the scope of it. And its focus is helping its members to improve their public speaking and leadership skills. I know we all have our own various reasons why we join Toastmasters. My reason why might not be the same as Greg or Fred or Vivian, but we all have our reason why we join Toastmasters. Now, I know we all know why we joined Toastmasters, but why did we stay in Toastmasters? And for me, I know it's a family atmosphere, and it's what I love. I love the people of Toastmasters. I love the camaraderie of Toastmasters. So I'm in for the long haul. So let's look at Toastmasters and the reason why, as we talk about the power of visibility. Some of the things, and I'm going to point out the first thing, the reason why is because awareness. When we talk about availability, we're talking about awareness, such as media coverage. As I stated, I joined Toastmasters because I saw an article in the local paper, right? That's media. Then we have now, because when I joined, they didn't have social media, but now we have social media. We have the Facebook page, we have the Twitter page, we have LinkedIn, we have Instagram, and some people, clubs, districts have even ventured out to TikTok world. So we haven't gotten there yet, and I don't think that I would be venturing into that world. I'm going to keep it simple. I heard it's best to keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, something. So I'm going to stay there. But we're talking about awareness within Toastmasters. We must increase awareness within Toastmasters, and not only that, but what Toastmasters has to offer. Since 2014, I have met a lot of people, and I asked them all, why did you join Toastmasters? And like I stated earlier, we all have our various reasons, but also it's what Toastmaster offered. It offered the leadership skills and offered communication. A lot of people, if it was on their job or if it was within their local church or either their community, they needed to communicate. But the only way is that without the power of visibility, they might not have found Toastmasters. Toastmaster for them, and even for me, it would have remained a well-kept secret. And people cannot benefit from an organization they don't know about. So we want to make sure that we get the word out about Toastmasters. Number two, we're going to talk about, as we talk about the power of visibility, we're going to talk about credibility. Credibility. When we talk about the increased visibility through media coverage, speaking engagement, and partnership, it enhances Toastmasters' credibility. When I first joined Toastmasters back in 2014, we were out going to local things that was going on within the community. And we would set up our table, we would put the sign up, Toastmasters. People would come up and they would ask us various questions about Toastmasters. How can they become a better speaker? But the reason that they approached us was because of the branding of Toastmasters, what it stood for, and the image and the visibility of our brand, as well as what Toastmasters stands for. It made us, the organization, a creditable source. So by having that visibility, it also creates credibility, right? We are a very creditable organization. And we're going to talk about membership recruitment. Why did you join Toastmasters? Membership recruitment. When that emblem or that badge is worn, or whatever emblem that you might have, if it's an article that was published in the paper, if it's a podcast, or if it was a forum, a PR forum that was taking place, wherever Toastmasters logo was displayed, it causes people to wonder, because most people, or some people, have heard of Toastmasters, they just didn't know what it was. So by being visible, it helped us to bring that awareness, and it created that recruitment. Not only the recruitment, but the retention of our Toastmasters members. So we have the external audience, and we might ask ourselves, what is the external audience? The external audience it's going to be those non-Toastmaster members. They're not members yet, but they just don't know it, but they will be members. But that's the external audience. Whenever we go out into the public and we talk to the public about Toastmasters and what Toastmasters is and the benefits of Toastmasters, that is bringing awareness to the brand, to the Toastmaster brand. So it helps to create that forum. It helps to create membership recruitment. Now, retention, like I said earlier, we all know why we join Toastmasters, but why do we stay? And that's and each one of us, we stay for our own various reasons. As I was sharing with Greg earlier, the reason that I stay, and I was sharing with Fred, the reason that I stay is because of the members. You build friendships. You learn from other members. And it's just fun. You know, we get together, we laugh. I love my club. What we do after each meeting, and I do mean each meeting, is we go out and we fellowship and we have fun. You know, we go out, if you're into adult beverages, whatever your choice is, we go out and we have that. Or if you just want to come out and have a great meal and just sit down and just laugh and joke, and we call them post toasties. So we go out and we have that, and we have an amazing time just sitting down and just we talk about the meeting and we build that friendship. And we're like, wow. And we share stories that we did not know about, each other. So it becomes a family, a Toastmaster family. And that is one of the things that have really kept me here in Toastmasters. And I think it will keep me here for a long time because, you don't leave your family, you just expand and you just continue to grow. Okay. Going out, like I said, after the post toasty is a great opportunity to network. When we go out to different restaurants and different venues and we're wearing our badge, people always come up. Business owners, we have people that's out with their family and they're inquisitive and they want to know what is Toastmasters, so we are able to share with them. And as we are sharing with them through that networking opportunity, we have created sponsors. We have our annual conference that comes up. So now that we have built that relationship with them, we can come back and we can continue to network with them. And when it's time to go back to them and say, hey, look, we're putting on our annual conference. We are seeking sponsors. I know you have your restaurant business. You are an attorney, whatever business it may be. We can go back to them and say, hey, we're looking for sponsors and we would love you to place an ad in our local book for the conference. And 9 times out of 10, they do, because we have built that relationship. So it's a great networking opportunity. And we're constantly learning from them and they're constantly learning from us. So the power of visibility is very, very much needed. Toastmasters, we inspire. And I know this might sound like a video, like I'm getting paid for this, but no, we inspire. Big boy, how do we inspire? Because we share our stories. We share our stories through our presentation, through our speeches, stories about our families, stories about our children, as they're coming up, stories about our job. Either we like it or we don't like it. Either we stayed there for 5 years or we stayed there for 30 years. But we share those various stories and we inspire others to help them to overcome whatever adversity that they might be facing. As I stated earlier, I came to Toastmaster because I had a speech impediment. I stuttered. Now, being a professional speaker and speaking to different parts of the world, people tell me, no way, you never stuttered. Yes, I did. I couldn't even read the script. I couldn't even say my name. I suffered this for over 30 plus years. Most of my life, I stuttered. And when they hear that inspirational story, that gives them hope. Like, wow. And it connects the brand of Toastmasters to my story. And it gives people hope. So Yes, we are inspiring. But there are many, many strategies for those that who choose to join Toastmasters. But without the PR team, the public relations team, it could be just District 7, it could be District 84, whatever the PR team is broadcasting, or they're making it very visible for Toastmasters, and they're putting the brand out there, and they're informing people, and they're educating people about Toastmasters and the benefits of it, and what they can expect at the meetings, or on the district level, or on the area level. There's value. So as a PR manager, as Fred is and I am, it gives us so much hope, and it's fun, but it gives us so much hope as we put it out there, and we get the feedback from people about what's going on within their district, and everyone is excited, or they're asking questions, or they're sharing with us how they feel about the various articles, or the podcast, or the various things that we're sharing with them. And it's gratifying, because we know that we are doing our job, and that is to educate those that are within our district, and we have our fun moments, and we share that with the district as well. But we love it. We love it. We love what we do, and we love the fact that we are part of an organization that is very viable. It adds value to the public, and it is fun, and we are family. So I love that. So Fred, I want to thank you for having me on your show. But the power of visibility is something that we must continue to spread the word. And I'm going to turn it back over to you now, Fred, and see if you have any questions or comments or anything that you would like to share.
Thank you, Donald. Let's give Donald a hand for that great speech. So we're going to open up the floor now. I'll go last for any questions for Donald about his speech, or anything PR related that maybe one or both of us can answer. Would you like to go first, Vivian?
Donald, I love your story, and my gift to you and the people all over the world with Toastmasters, and to be with Toastmasters, is to be so empowered by my love message, which says, no one is ever disabled. Every human being is differently abled. It
Yes.
is our job to help them find their gifts, nurture their gifts, and inspire more people around the world. So thank you, Donald, for reminding us of that. Thank you.
You are welcome. Vivian, one of the things that I've heard for many, many years is that fear is what keeps a lot of people from moving forward. Now, they might look at, hey, I am disabled because I am afraid to speak. No, you have to come forward. Fear, as my good friend would say, fear is one of the most subtle and one of the most destructive forces of all human diseases. That's right. Fear is a disease. And I've heard this acronym for fear. I heard it two different ways. You can face everything and rise, or you can face everything and run. You choose. So I thank you, Vivian, for that comment.
Thank you. And Fred, Greg, and Donald, if I may add, this might sound a little bit strange, if not funny, but we do know that perception is reality. The four of us can look at one picture and see it from different perspectives. And so fear sometimes, if not many times, becomes false expectations appearing real,
Yes.
until it becomes a big monster and you're frozen in time and space. So again, thank you. I love our sharing of insights. Thank you.
Was connected directly in my mind to the sales pitch. Those guys calling you at random times of the day saying, here's what we can do, but it's not totally true. I have a misperception about that. Mm-hmm. And I believe that the clubs not only need to look inward at how their members are progressing and being recognized. But of course, in addition to recruiting, we need to let the world know what is attractive about Toastmasters. This fact that many of the members in my club use it as a mini safe place to try out something they want to do for work or
Yes.
some expectation at a gathering of family or professional. They sketch it out, and we tell them, well, you know, it's too much information in too little time. And so, yeah, of course, but it's going to expand. But that is a one opportunity that a lot of people are in the professional world are looking for, is to find a group that knows about communication,
Yes.
which is our primary skill, and they realize that communication is the most important tool in the business world. It's critical for any kind of project participation. Not many people work alone anymore, and especially in this environment of electronic connection. So, yeah, my question is, what has changed radically now that we're all hybrid and online in the Toastmaster philosophy, I guess, about public relations? I know we don't put too many YouTubes, although I've heard about it. And a lot of our events with the presenters, they are quite polished in their
Yes.
performance online. They almost look like Hollywood, but it is something to see. It is exciting time for Toastmasters, I think, this transition.
It is. It is. Toastmasters, as we say in my club, it's a learning lab. Regardless of what business that you're in, you come to Toastmasters, you practice those skills, and you take them back outside of Toastmasters, and it becomes a part of your life. Now, when COVID hits, it forced us into a whole different way of seeing things and viewing things. We were forced into a hybrid world. You know, we went from being in person only. Some of us did not know what hybrid was, how to set it up, how we're going to continue with Toastmasters if we have social distancing and we have practiced Toastmasters with being in person. So how are we going to move forward? And that's when hybrid came in. And I don't think that it would ever leave us now. I think it forced us into a situation like we have now. We can be in different parts of the world, different parts of the country, and we can still be in the same room, in sort of speak. I had one friend, and he's a comic. He asked me, he said, how did you all get up in that little square? And then he asked, I said, well, you know, he wanted to be funny. He said, how did you get up into that little square? I said, well, it's a camera. And then he asked me, he said, do you ever get claustrophobic being in that little square? I said, no. He's a funny guy. But the way Toastmasters have evolved has really changed a lot of people. Now, even though we're getting back now to in person, I think most of us, probably about 90% or 80% in person and hybrid, and some are still online. I just think it's the dynamics of the way we have, how our lives have changed, how Toastmaster has changed, and I don't think that it would ever go back. But it's a new skill set that we have learned that we would take not only in Toastmasters, but we have learned to take it outside of Toastmasters. Now we may have a brother in Seattle and a brother in Florida and a brother up in New York and LA, but we can all come together and be in one room now because it was forced up on us, but now it's a part of our lives.
Yeah,
Yes.
and let me add to that too, Donald, is that's how I ended up in District 7. A lot of when I got my interview by Stefana Johnson the first time, my predecessor, she asked me, "How in the world did you end up in District 7 when you're on the East Coast?" And the story goes like this. I was on the tail end of my PRM term in District 84, and I was a PRM during COVID 2020, 2021. And I see an advertisement on Facebook about a PR mastermind group forming. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's in my wheelhouse. Maybe I can learn something, but at the same time, maybe I can add value. So let me check it out. Come to find out, they were having a mastermind session to charter a PR focused group called PR Masters in District 7. Because I remembered when I got the message from Maren Ziba, she said, "You do know this is for chartering a club in District 7?" And I said, "Yeah, and you still want to come?" I say, "Why not?" Because I thought to myself, how cool would it be to not just charter a virtual club, but one outside of my home district? So I liked it, and everybody accepted me with open arms, and I got to know the trio a little bit. And our immediate past district director, Lori Anderson, struck up a conversation with me, and she said, "Oh, by the way," she goes, "I need an area director in your area where your club is. I don't have one for next year. Would you like to be one?" I said, "Lori," I said, "twist my arm over the phone, why don't you?" So that's how I ended up. That's how I ended up here. I mean, it's my virtual family, but we all get along. I mean, yes, we see each other on Zoom, but I feel like we're one big happy family. So basically, Zoom is what brought us together. I guess you could say Donald is, and I think it was a blessing in disguise. We do a lot of things virtually. There's another area director here from Florida, but he only plays in District 7. His name is Vern. He lives out near Joe Flanagan. He's an area director, and he's a member of like at least 2 clubs in District 7, and he's on the club support forum team with Lori Anderson, and we have all these sessions, and we get a lot out of it. I mean, it's not the same as being in person, but you can get personable to an extent, I think, digitally. When I went to the convention, a lot of these people I saw in these Zoom squares, I actually got to see in person. So that was an advantage of going to the convention as well. And Richard Peck even said the same thing in his closing comments. He said, "How many people here went from seeing people in a little box?" I met my RA in person. She actually recognized me the first night, and the new Region 1 international director. We got a picture taken together because I'm like, how cool is this? We may not see each other again in person. We took it. So it's part of that visibility you were talking about, that I saw the ad. Now I misunderstood it or I misread it, but I look at it as a blessing in disguise, because I think of District 7 now as my extended family. But as you said earlier, Toastmasters is one big happy family.
Yes.
Because it's Toastmasters. It's not Toastmasters District 84 family, District 7 family. It's Toastmasters International, period.
Yes.
So that's what we all share. And I want to welcome Lori. Lori, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Hippolyte? Are you still on, Lori?
Yes, I am. Hippolyte.
Okay. Well, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? You got the tail end of Donald's speech, but
No.
tell it.
No.
It's
I
gonna
came in while you were speaking.
recording it, so it's not a big deal. But just tell us a little bit about yourself, and if you have any questions for Donald or myself that are PR related, just ask the questions.
I did not catch Donald's speech. I came in while you were speaking, but I am from District 81. That's the Caribbean district. I saw the ad on Facebook. I am a VPPR, and I'm very interested in how to do the job. So I decided, why not join in and hear from the experts?
Good.
And
Good.
then go back to what Donald said about his speech about the power of visibility. You saw the ad I put together, which is why you're here. So if you want to ask Donald maybe some questions about what he talked about as far as power of visibility. I'm sure he won't mind backing up a little bit to answer your questions, Lori.
Well, I would like to know about power visibility. That's one of the reasons I'm joining here, because my club is not visible right now, and I would love for it to be visible. So how do you go about making your club visible?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. The first thing is that you want to create a PR plan. You want to build your team. I think one of the things that we do not want to do is to try to do it ourselves. It's going to take a team because it's a lot of work trying to write press releases, trying to social media, trying to take the photos, the videos, trying to do everything. And I think what happens is that we become burnt out. And when we become burnt out, then nothing gets done and the PR it goes down. So that's the first thing, is to create your PR team, the person who's going to be in charge of and overseeing social media. The person's, if you have a podcast, the person who's going to be, going to oversee the podcast team, because each one of these elements, you want to have a extended team, a podcast team. If you're going to have a newsletter, you want to have a newsletter team, those that are going to write various articles about, things that are newsworthy that's going on within the district, with the trio, the quadro, or the club members. Like I said, with the podcast, the power of visibility. I think one of the most important things that we could do is not only have print articles and things, but also videos, because people become very, very relatable when they see videos. But these are some of the things in order to help to make your club or your district more visible. And we want to be seen. I was looking at the word of visibility. What does it mean? It means to see or to be seen. And I think the more people within our local area, they begin to see us, because most have already heard of Toastmasters. They might not have heard of the extent of it, but they begin to question and wonder, what is this Toastmasters that I've heard over the years? So that's when the VPPR for the club or the local area have that opportunity to share with them. When I first joined back in 2014, I was sharing with others, is that I saw an article in the local paper. So we have to make sure, let's start there. Let's start putting an article in the local papers, telling them about Toastmasters. It doesn't have to be anything that's that's large. It could be, tell them what Toastmaster is, where leaders are made, the Toastmasters mission statement. And you can just share the winners of this week's meeting. Who was the best speaker, the best table topic speaker, the best evaluator. And we begin to share those things. I've seen clubs really grow and thrive, and I've seen clubs that have died. And I think one of the reasons that I have noticed clubs that have fallen off is because they really didn't get that word out to the public. People want and they need Toastmasters. But if we don't share that message of what Toastmaster has to offer, then we're not doing them a service. The solution is there, but we're not sharing it with others. And a lot of times we come together at that club meeting and we have a great, great time, but it's the best kept secret. And for us to grow, we cannot allow Toastmasters, our club, to be a very well best kept secret. We have to share it with others and then let it grow. And as it grow, others, they want to come and be a part of the fun. So, but what are some of the challenges that your club is facing?
Okay, so presently, I came in with there was no VPR really functioning. So the club is fairly young. They're going on to their third year. So, but nothing has been left for me. So I have to build everything now.
Okay.
Social media, do the ads for meetings, and I have to build everything.
Okay.
I have launched a Facebook page, but I've been asking for help to create content for that page.
Okay.
Because building my own Facebook page, not a problem, but building the club's Facebook page, I'm finding it to be a bit of a challenge for me.
Okay. Okay. One of the tools that I use throughout the district, and I'm sure Fred uses it too, is Canva. It's a great platform to help to build, to make flyers and various things. As far as content, how many members are in your club?
At present, 10.
10? Okay.
Yes.
If you were to do a video, were to make a video out of those 10 people, asking them, why did you join Toastmasters? And each day you can use that as a resource to put on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Also with Toastmasters International, the TI site, on there's a section that says resources. You can click on videos, and each day you can post a new video, to that site. So you don't have to create the videos, but you can post those to the site.
Okay.
But in your area, you have to reach the local public. You have to get out there, not you, but create a team, or just have us on a Saturday morning, have the members go pass out flyers, Toastmasters. And on those flyers, have the Facebook link or the website link, and just have them to go to that link to learn more. But the word has to get out to the public.
Right. And let me add to that too, Lori, because something I've done for a challenge for this district is to do a video challenge. And it kind of goes back to what Donald was suggesting. But I would also, if you're going to do the videos or have your club do them, add in there, like, what's so special about your club and why people should join your club. As what, in addition to what Donald said about like why they joined Toastmasters, because that was the issue, the challenge I issued to our district for the video challenge as kind of a membership drive is use that out there to try to draw members in. Is don't just tell them why you joined Toastmasters, tell them about your club and why they should join your club, and then when your club meets. So try to put that in the video as well. If you miss it, you can always put it in the caption on the Facebook page. So that's another way to do that too. And the beauty of Facebook, are you the administrator of your Facebook page, Lori?
Yes.
What you can do, like with the videos Donald was talking about with the 10, that may seem like a lot. If you want to stagger them, there's a place in there where you can schedule your posts. So you don't have to post all 10 videos at once. You can post one week, post one another week. How often does your club meet?
Twice a month.
Twice a month. Okay. Then you could probably do maybe, one the month you guys meet, and then maybe another one the month when you don't meet, maybe inviting people. Just kind of change it up. But you don't have to work so hard and do a video every time and post them. You can make 100 videos at once, but just schedule the post. Or even if it's just a flyer you make in Canva, like Donald was saying, you can make those ahead as well with the club information and schedule a post. Because the video you saw for this, I did that in Canva. And what a lot of people don't know, you can get a free Canva account through Toastmasters.org. There's some steps you have to take. And then if you click on it, there's supposed to be something that says like nonprofit.
Yeah.
And then your club should be able to get it for free. I mean, it's initially Toastmasters call. I mean, it's inexpensive anyway if it was your personal account. But the fact that you can get it free because we're a nonprofit helps. You get the same benefits. And a lot of a lot of my posts you see, a lot of Donald's posts you see, or done in Canva. It's real simple. It's just a lot of drag and drop stuff, a lot of pre-made templates, nothing hard to figure out. Now, what I was going to suggest to you as VPPR, because I'm a photographer and videographer and Donald's a videographer, is you don't necessarily have to take the pictures or post them. You can delegate people to do that. It's your job mainly as VPPR to make sure the promoting is done. You don't necessarily have to do it yourself. It's just your job to make sure that it's done. You're basically like the overseer that your club is getting promoted. And I'm sure Donald can piggyback off of that as well, or add to that as well if you'd like, Donald. And Greg has his hand up.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I'm not a VPPR or anything like that, but I have a couple of ideas that worked in my club to share. One of which is we have a meetup group, which the club bought the membership and it's maintained, and it's a whole other social media forum that people go to find like-minded folks, and we've drawn a few participants that way. Another thing we do is encourage club members to go out and represent our club at different functions, such as contests, conventions of Toastmasters, at other club meetings. Say, hi, I'm visiting from this club, and we'd like to invite you back and experience our meeting. I have an item I'll put here in the chat. It's just an article about the value of speaking skills, and it provides some material for anything that you want to write up.
Do you see it, Laurie, to download?
Yes, downloading.
Yes.
Thank you, Greg. Go ahead, Donald, if you wanted to add to that.
Yes, and Laurie, when you're at your club, take as many photos and videos as you can, but make sure that you get the video release form signed. But take as many photos because people want to see other people in action. So when you post to your social media pages, post those items because people will look at them and they want to see people in action because it's something that they're seeking. And when they see other people, speaking and sharing their stories and how scared they were when they joined Toastmasters, and those are real life experiences. But people, they love to be hush hush because they don't want to share their story until they have made it. No, throughout the process, post many photos, contact whatever local paper, and when those guests do visit, ask them, how did you hear about Toastmasters? Because you want to know where the source came from. Was it the local paper? Was it by word of mouth, or did you see the sign in front of the building that said Toastmasters? Or do we have a sign that says Toastmasters? Or do we have a sign on the door? A club, one of the clubs that I visit, they're in a library, but they make sure that their sign is visible that says Toastmasters. Traffic is going in and out, and without that sign, no one would know Toastmasters was in there. So we have to make it visible. The power of visibility.
Yep. In my original home club, we used to meet in a hospital, and they ended up moving because of COVID. And when we got the new banner, we would put the new one outside the door and the old one inside behind the lectern. So we had two banners, and one of the people that joined the club was working at that hospital, and she walked by and saw the banner outside, and she came to a meeting like the following week, and I think joined on the spot, and she ended up being a pretty good speaker. And it had nothing to do with Facebook. It just had to go with what Donald said, the power of visibility. It was right there. You couldn't help but see when you walked down the hallway of the hospital, And Greg was talking about Meetup earlier. Our last two members who joined well, we had a guest yesterday, and then our last member that joined were from Meetup. And all I do for Meetup is I'll just copy what I put on the Facebook page. Now, I might not put the same amount of pictures, but I'll put a few on there with some captions. But the fact that I'm still putting stuff there still lets people know that, we're a club. And we've also had people find us through our website, because when we ask them, like Donald said, how did you find us? And they'll say, I went through something called Find a Club, which is through the Toastmasters.org website. And then they just type in like within so many miles or a radius, and then they see
I
that.
know it very well.
Yeah, they found us through most methods available. Facebook's been our biggest hit for getting members, but we've had people pretty much from all our sources find us. That way. In my old club, when we were advertising in the paper, people found us in the paper by just saying, like when and where we met, and then they got hooked as soon as they walked in the door.
Yeah. It's a valuable resource, yes.
Yep. Vivian, you have anything to add?
Yes. My dream is to have every club have a different answer from every member when a visitor like me walks in and says, so why did you join? Why do you stay? And why should I join you? And I do not want to hear the same answer to be better, blah. I'm like, nah, I want it to be from your heart. I
Mm.
am. Can you imagine hearing the same answer over Zoom? Because I visit clubs around the world. I'm like, nah, I want you to be real. I want you to tell us your pain. I
Yeah.
want you to tell us your aha moment. What is so hard about that? So I want to put some soul in. What, Donald? What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. People join for so many different reasons, and I've seen people that would get up to the lectern and they would freeze uh, uh, and nothing would come out, but they got up to the lectern. And then the next time they come back, my name is Donald Tosin, and slowly it happens. But the trick is to keep coming back. Now, your club, do they meet in person or do they, and it's for Lori, in person or,
Online.
I'm sorry,
It's online.
only?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because this is the world we live in. We live in a virtual world. That's great. Have them to every meeting, try to have them bring a guest. It could be a family member, it could be a co-worker, it could be a friend. And because you want to expose, you want as you want the members to have in investment of time by bringing those that are close to them, because they don't want to just be the best kept secret and just have a friend network, but just have a time when a next meeting, let's have everyone to bring one guest, and it could be a friend from social media, it could be a friend from work or wherever it is. Have them, because you have to build that membership, and you can't do it by yourself because you're gonna burn out. So make sure you at least have one or two other people. Okay, one or two other people to help out. Okay. All right, Fred, over to
Yep.
you.
Well, we're at the top of the hour, so I don't know if, and Greg had to cut out. So do you have any final questions, Vivian or Lori, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, when are you gonna do this again? Donald, I want more of you. So when?
Well, you can always visit us at Keynotes and More Toastmasters as well. Or Fred knows how to get in contact with me over here in District 84. And if you need me to come
Great.
if you need me to come and speak on any of your platforms, please reach out to me. I can put my, well, just look District 84 PRM, Toastmasters District 84, and it'll pop up.
Sure.
Yep.
May I visit your clubs or your club?
I'm sorry?
May I visit your club?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me put it in the chat real quick, or
Sure. Thank you.
name of
Yep.
the club.
And Vivian, I will also email you and copy Donald or vice versa, since I have both your email addresses stored or on speed dial. And
Wonderful.
and Lori as well. You know, and I know you're in both of you are in total different time zones as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to wrap it up. Donald, thank you for coming. And I'm going to ask you, like on a podcast, any final words or words of wisdom you'd like to tell the viewing audience, both on Zoom and in the outside world, before we wrap up?
Absolutely. In order for any organization, especially in Toastmasters, we could be the best kept secret. We could be doing great things. We could be moving mountains. We could be changing lives. We could be transforming lives. But it doesn't do us any good if the world do not know of our existence. We must share that talent, that skill, ability, that organization, that club that are helping others. It is our responsibility to share that with the world. And we do that through the power of visibility, by letting the world know that we are here and we are in existence. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Donald. Let's give Donald a round of applause. I will send you the recording, and Donald, looking forward to that podcast with you and Ray when you can schedule that. And I will see everybody in 2 weeks. Tune in on Tuesday, September 12th, where my next guest will be past District 84 social media chair, Nancy Wilkins, where she will be talking about connecting with your cyber audience. Be there or be square.